Welcome back to course. This is week 3, part 1 for privacy and security in online social media. So this week we are going to look at how text is available on social and what all can we do with the text that is available. So more so like the NLP side of social media analysis is what we are going to look at. We'll have some basic understanding of what the text is, what all we can do. Then we'll have actually hands-on sessions on NLTK, how to actually use, do pre-processing with the text, how to get some meaning out of the text that is available on social. Okay. Any questions, feel free to post. I think it's good to see some of you so to say, interacting with us. I think it'll always be nice to see more of you send messages and talk to us. If you remember, we have seen this slide before, which is about Internet Minute in 2022, which is, I used this slide, this image to show that the content that is getting generated on social is very high. So here, the question now is same content is getting, meaning if you look at the 4 V's we talked about, right? In that one is volume, and keeping that in mind, how much of this is text, right? So given that this week's focus is on only text, so our question is, look, lots of content is getting generated. People are sending so much of text messages. People are uploading 1.7 million pieces of content is getting uploaded, 2.4 million snaps. All of this is email of 231 million messages are being sent. All of this is being sent, but how much of it is text, right? Large amount of it is text, right? Text content has definitely exploded because of the social media penetration, and there's huge amount of possibility to do with this text is what the argument that I'm making here. To go slow on what all content is available on social, right? So if you, I'm sure this is very familiar right now for you, which is a handle posting some text, and then somebody replying to the post, and then there's a reply to the post, to the reply, or sometimes to the original post also. Right? So all of that is text that is getting generated. Original text in the tweet, reply to the tweet, reply to reply, or reply to the original tweet that happens. Twitter threads. Twitter threads are extremely popular for creating content, for talking about a topic, and taking up some very serious topic and having some Twitter threads. For example, I do Twitter threads on papers that we publish. All right, so take the paper, break it down, saying that the novelty is this, the methodology is this, right? Instead of doing 15 different tweets, I do a Twitter thread, which is just a first tweet, and then everything else is a reply to the first tweet. Just a way of people started creating content, and that there are even apps which actually summarize or put the Twitter threads together to you and show it to you as a tweet, right? So hierarchy in post is there, which is post, reply, reply to a reply, all of that. And you can generate as many branches as you need. You can reply from anywhere, so you can reply from this one, you can reply from this one, you can reply from reply to reply, or from here, anywhere you can branch out and reply. And this hierarchy also encodes the context, right? It is also giving us to which part of the comment the reply is for. Right? somebody is talking about a cricket match, and then suddenly the conversation may end up moving towards a particular cricketer, and then a particular health of the cricketer or performance of that cricketer, and then connecting to some match that happened a few years before. So it can branch out in different ways, and those replies and the threads, so to say, where the reply is, can give you a good context for making some inference of the content. I mean, continuing on where all you can find the text, right? So, I think the interesting aspects is that this content that is getting generated on Twitter, which is particularly as a text, can also lead into something very novel. For example, this one, if you see, the Twitter mega thread led to an ACL. ACL is a top tier conference and best paper award paper there. And then the acknowledgements were also given in the paper. This paper originated in a Twitter mega thread that was neatly summarized by Thomas, blah, blah, blah. Right? So therefore, the text that is getting generated on the social can be very, very useful for many things. The other text, right? One is, of course, the social text. The other is product reviews, right? You go to Amazon. You look for. You want to buy a book. You see that people are reviewing the book, giving their feedback about the book. The book was good. The chapter is not good. The cover is good. All the feedback that you would have seen in product reviews, which is also text. Not necessarily completely online social networks, but text that is available for analysis. Restaurant reviews again, right? Everything. Meaning I've come to a sort of say understanding or conclusion that our life revolves around notifications and reviews. Reviews or feedback, right? Whatever you want to do, you are kind of looking for reviews, feedback, another way called ratings, better way. So I've come to a conclusion that our life revolves around notifications and ratings, right? Anything you want to do, you're looking for. You want to watch a movie, you're looking for IMDb rating. You want to buy it, you want to order food from a restaurant, you're looking for Zomato rating. You want to go visit a place, you're looking for TripAdvisor rating. You're looking for buying a product from Amazon, you're looking for the product rating or the seller rating, right? All of that. Notification, of course, WhatsApp, notification, Insta notification. So notifications are another thing that drives our life. Another, in addition to that, I feel ratings are also there. So that's what restaurant reviews, which is ratings may be a value. Let's take 1 to 5. Reviews are more like text. Right, these kind of reviews are given, which are useful for making a decision on whether I want to go to the restaurant and have food or not. Artifacts of social media text, which is what are the different forms in which text is getting generated on social, right? So one is hashtag. We talked about hashtag before, so I'm just connecting to what we have said before. Hashtag is a great way to connect the topic that you're discussing in the tweet. Emojis, I'm sure you're all into emojis or GIFs, URLs being done in the post, and of course user mentions. All right. So this is just a content that is taken from the tweet, which shows that the future is now blah, 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 and myself received a student report, which is 97% likely to be written by GPT, according to in this plagiarism, eloquent use of latest tools, blah, blah. Eloquent use of the latest tools, right? So the idea is that we are seeing lot of text in all of these social media posts, right? Of course, there are also images, but our focus for this week is that it is text. Hashtag, emojis, URLs, user mentions. So there is also, the hashtags also have semantic meaning in it. Hashtag Supermovie, hashtag Avengers. I told you the other day also, hashtag we with India, right? Things like this. Hashtag my credit or credit card fraud, right? So there's a lot of semantic meaning in the hashtags. Also, the URLs also can give you some information, which is check out our model's details at HTTPS. Right. So that gives you details about an external link that can give you details about what the tweet is all about. But that's a good side of the social, right? A lot of text, lot of information that is available. But there's also a problem with this all social media data also. Spelling variations, which is Mera, you want to Romanize it. It'll be M-E-R-A, M-E-R-R-A, M-E-R-A, M-R-A. All, I'm sure you can come up with a big list of these kind of words that you type where the spellings are very different. One of the analysis that we did during elections, we saw some 80 or 90 different ways of writing this Mavi Chokidar. One of the weeks I talked about hashtag Mavi Chokidar. If you think about ways of writing, there was like 80 or 90 plus ways that people had actually written hashtag Mavi Chokidar. Of course, character limits. So good night becomes like something like this. This is also because we have like 280 characters in Twitter, and all of us have also started becoming more and more used to these kind of things because it just saves some time in typing them. Multilingual speakers can mix language. This is a big part of text analysis, which is code mixing, which we will see later. But for now, it is the tweet example is here, which is Congress भूल गई कि elections ground पे होती है, Twitter पे नहीं. Right? Just saying that भूल गई कि elections ground पे होती है, Twitter पर नहीं. Right? Fully Hindi, the text is written in English, and I'm guessing most of you would have done this in your exchange of messages in various forms, right? WhatsApp, emails, right? Text messages, all of that. You must have used this multilingual. Many of us are multilingual, right? We should be able to speak English and Hindi, or English and Tamil, English and Marathi. Some combination of this you can do. This is only an example of 2 languages, but there could be 3, 4, many languages can come. So the idea of code mixing is that you're kind of switching between languages or using using different languages. You are expressing what you want to say. Meaning this is not a formal course on code mixing or NLP, so we'll not get into a lot of details about why code mix, what is the advantages of code mix, when did code mix start, what kind of problems do we have because of code mix on social, how do we analyze that. All of that, I will leave it for you to go take a look at some more traditional courses on NLP or advanced courses on NLP to figure that out. But if you have anything that is connected to social and you're interested in knowing about code mixed, I'm happy to chat with you. So if you think about multimodal content, which is me choosing how I'm going to waste my time next, given this image, it actually makes a lot more sense, right? The meaning of the text is better. We are able to understand the content better once we have the text and the image together. That's the idea here, right? To show that the power is also about multimodal. And today, of course, multimodal is what the whole social media is about. Even though our focus for this week is about text, the content that is getting generated on social is extremely large in the multimodal form. Domain and style difference, meaning variations in way we write on social, right? The short text that we talked about, right? Character limits. Because of character limits, we end up doing short text. That's not written in formal writing. Very different to say Wikipedia news article, right? Times of India article versus Twitter thread text is extremely different. Constraint, of course, is there, and some of the problems, some of the understanding of this text is extremely hard because of these topics like humor, sarcasm, anecdotes. There's a lot of deeper understanding of the text, deeper understanding of the information provided is needed to get a sense of what's going on. Here is a small spectrum of formalism in text data depending on data sources, right? Small, let me go through it, which is casual speech, very, very low in terms of the structure, low in terms of formalism. Then there is chat, SMS, even lower. Just to compare with Kaushal, there's a legal document and formal, let's take government documents that are prepared. Let's take if you go buy real estate, the document that is written, which is signed by the owners, by the registrar, it's extremely, extremely formal. Right? So that's probably the other side of formalism. And then casual speech, chat, SMS, casual speech, tweets, little bit more okay, email, blog, then printed text, literature, news, and then this legal documents. So if you see, that's a kind of a spectrum of formal text that one can think of. Both sides being one side being the formal text, the other side being the casual text, which is extreme of, let's take social media content. Now that we have understood what text is there on social, how are these content getting generated, all that, we should know how to actually start using this content, right? I mean, I get a tweet, what do I do with the tweet, right? The content that we generate, the content that we see on social, depending on the kind of content that we get, the pre-processing, the processing of the content also will differ. So let's see some of them. So text from online social network is coming, some popular approaches. We'll see some approaches. We have to use the popular approaches to analyze the content in the tweet, and the question that you want to understand is, look, there's been a lot of technologies built to analyze legal documents, right? Give me the legal document, I'll tell you what summary of the court case, right? Summarization of news articles, summarization of new technical papers written. All of this has been done for many, many decades now, right? But can I just take the method that is summarizing a technical research paper and apply it on Twitter and get a summary for the Twitter thread a paper is being talked about? That's the question that we have to ask. Right? So most of the NLP, particularly the ones on this side, are all trained with large corpus of data. Right? Large corpus of data, because they're also available on large scale. If you think about court cases, if you think about real estate document, if you could think about research papers published, there's a lot of content that is available out there. But then can these tools be used for social media data analysis? Named entity detector trained on news Wikipedia pages, will it work on Twitter? Right? The question that, one of the questions that we can ask about these kind of tweets is that, can we actually get, so to say, year, name, and the entity that it is speaking, and some other text, and particularly here also about different handles. Mentions, I think, is probably easier to figure out, that it's a Twitter handle that is getting tagged. But can we actually get 2023? Can we actually get G20 India, right? I mean, of course, there are noise, which we'll also look at. Why do we need to do pre-processing, right? We need to do pre-processing the text so that these tools do better, because these tools, so let's go back to these tools. These tools that are mentioned here are good when you give the text which are more processed, which is processed in terms of some specific structure. It has some specific tags. It is only of certain types, certain language, certain combination of languages, all that. Meaning if you take a model that is built on English and give it to Hindi, it's not going to work. So therefore the model needs Hindi text as the input rather than English text. Things like that. That's what we are trying to say. Pre-processing is essential because the NLP tools will do a better job if you pre-process the text. It also helps in terms of making the existing tools do what we want to do, which is also embedded and perform better, but goes a long way in leveraging existing NLP toolkits. Most NLP toolkits are usually trained on, which is already said, a lot of information can be extracted from artifacts. I showed an example, but they can also cause noise, which we talked about, and there are two ways to actually look at why pre-processing is needed. So pre-processing, right? Pre-processing, what is pre-processing, right? What is pre-processing that we can do to get the NLP tools do a little bit better job? First step in any NLP pipeline, if you talk to any NLP researcher, any NLP industry practitioner, they're going to say that, oh, given a text, let's just do pre-processing. Simple things like, oh, I want to remove all the in, it, right? Or the texts that are called as stop words, right? So I want to get rid of them so that I give the content text to the models or tools only what can make sense, only what will help me in making sense. Remove information that you don't want, which can be stop words, which can be something specific. In a certain domain, you want to remove certain words. That could also be there. Refactor certain information in a certain way that helps your tags. Probably present the information slightly differently. I said one thing we will see is these tags that we can attach to the text, which can help make better sense. So let's look at one specific example of pre-processing the text, right? Here is a tweet. I saw the new John Doe movie and it sucks. Wasted $10. Bad movie, and then a smiley. So if you take this tweet and give it to different tools, what all it is going to do and what all can you do to help the NLP tools do a better job is what we are going to look at, right? Replace the artifacts with indicators, which is the tags that I mentioned. I saw the new hashtag, right? John Doe is kept, hashtag ends, movie that it sucks, elongated is added because sucks is, so if you look at here, SUUUCKS is changed to SUCKS. It is elongated, so that annotation is done. Is repeated, wasted, right? All caps, money, which is repeated, dollar hashtag is there, and bad movies hashtag, and hashtag ends, and annoyed, which is the smiley there. All right. So if you see the indicators, again, these indicators you can create as much as you want. Today, the power of XML, power of JSON, all of that is available to have these kind of tags created, which can annotate the text that we have for using it in the tools, right? So let's move on. Another way to look at it is that if you have done from here to here, then we can move from here to here also. I saw the new John Doe movie and it sucks. Wasted, wasted $10 and bad movies, right? So this can be there, right? So from here we could move here, which can make a little bit more sense. We'll actually also see how more tools can do, but here is a meaning you can replace or remove with depending on the application that you want. You can send this as an input to your NLP tool. You can send this as your input to your NLP tool, or make some modifications also as needed. The idea here is that take the input text that is given, find a way to actually annotate it with some tags, some pre-processing information, which can help to make a choice. So as I said before, look at different ways of actually doing the pre-processing. So tokenization that can come, right? So this can be white space, which is I saw the new movie and it sucks, wasted, blah, 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 $10, bad movies, greater than 3, and emoji, greater than 3 : emoji, right? So this is, it just removed the white space and it's given to it. So another tool which looks at it, it says, I'll show you only the difference. I saw the new movie and it sucks, wasted, $10, ... So if you see here, the difference is the $10 and the ... is separated here, and this one is separated here. Again, the point here is to show that different tools can take this input and different forms of output can be created depending on the task that you're looking for. If you're looking for the task where this ... is necessary, ... you want it separately tagged, then you want to do this. Separately tokenized, then you want to do the tool 1. If you look at the next one, it is even more finer grained, which is I saw the blah 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 movie, it sucks. It has removed the exclamation also separately. Even the dots has become separate, and here this is very similar to this one. Right. I hope that makes sense. Again, right, the idea here is to show you that simple pre-processing techniques like this can help the NLP tools do a better job. Code mixed text is slightly complicated because it's not just in one language, so therefore we need to do a little bit more, which is first we have to understand what language it is, right? Which word belongs to which language. If written in Romanized form, convert into a native script and then normalize, right? Sentence, I thought मौसम different होगा, fog है, right? I thought मौसम different होगा, bus fog hai. I just read this part, which is tokens. Now it is normalized so that you can get the English form. So I thought English form or Romanized form, whatever you want to do. I thought मौसम in Hindi different hoga, bus fog hai. Now I want to identify it as language in the English, Hindi, English, Hindi, English, Hindi. Right. So, the idea here is that to break the text given to us with each word and understand what language it is. And therefore, now this is code mix, right? If you just look at it, it's going from Hindi to English to Hindi, Hindi to English, and then back to Hindi, and then Hindi, and then English, and then Hindi, right? So it's just switching between languages. And it's also different, written differently. So different was written differently. Right, DFRNT, but the actual spelling is DIFFERENT, hoga, right? So that's how you will go about finding the languages that are part of the code mix content. So what did we see now in part 1? We saw that a huge amount of text is available on social. Artifacts are there for social, which are necessary, which will help to make a lot of sense if you're able to find the artifacts. And there are problems with the social media text, which is spelling variation, multilingualism, all that. But the processing is needed. We have to clean, we have to tokenize. If we do all of it, there will be better analysis done using the content. So that's all I had for this part. I'll see you soon in the next part.